What is going on, X Community Exo Stomp here? Today, people, we're going to be doing the week 4 Aron Pickems, and joining me as last time, it was going to be Galaxybomb.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, so our scores, they're all kind of
Pretty
all over,
even still.
but yeah, still pretty even.
Surprisingly, because it felt like we were quite different on a lot of choices this week, but it balanced out to be pretty even.
Yeah, very surprising actually. I'm only ahead because I got one completely correct.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been totally even. But
Yeah.
this week will be even crazier, surely.
Okay, well then let's get on to the first one here. We've got Giuseppe Cup versus Seabass. So,
Wait, what match this is? So this is going to be an interesting match because from what I remember, let me just check the records. Yeah, so Giuseppe Cup lost last week, and I believe Texas Thunderous. Wait, what's their code?
FLF, I don't know why.
That doesn't seem correct. In any case, if I were to just look at the actual matchup, the one thing I do notice is I'm pretty sure Tinkatuff comes here. Just looking, I mean, Giuseppe's steel strengths are really strong, very resistant to steel, but they're a little weak to fairy, so Tinkatuff might have an okay time in this situation.
I don't know. I don't really see it doing much here, actually.
That's fair.
I actually think Seabass has a pretty good matchup. The Zorwart gets walled by the Meloetta for the most part. The Glade always just goes in, especially here. There's not anything specific. Maybe Altaria that can come in. Does it? I might have Ice Punch. It probably does, right?
I actually don't know. It has Thunder Punch at least.
Yeah. I know it has like at least Stone Edge as well, or something, but yeah, there's not many things for that. Meloetta can wall the Zorwark, the Samurott.
Samurot's pretty scary. There's
Yeah.
not much that can stop it just ceaseless edge spamming.
There's a Quaxwell.
There is a Quaxwell. You're correct.
I don't know why I said there's a Quack, but there is. Tinkatuff, maybe?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that might be okay.
I guess. It has play rough, so it's fine.
I don't know how much Swallow can tank its hits. Or even Mudsdale, like a really tanky Mudsdale might be okay.
Yeah, just risking water moves or
something. Here's a question. Does an Ice Beam Love Disc come?
It could. The thing is, it just lets Samurott in, so I don't know if it does come.
Yeah, Samurott is just a big threat. That's tough. I feel like overall, Seabass's team is stronger, but Samurott is just such a house in this matchup that if Giuseppe builds around it properly, especially with Zoroark to trip up, like get a little bit of momentum from a confusing illusions play, I feel like he could just take it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of even. Like, I think both of these players, I feel like they know what they're doing. For the most part, it's just I don't think. Have either of them got their footing yet? Let's see. Standings. Yeah, Giuseppe Cup's been doing pretty well. I don't know. It's tough because Giuseppe Cup's team looks strong, but I think Seabass has the answers to the team. So this one's a toss-up.
I'm gonna go and say Giuseppe Cup's gonna take this in a 2-0 victory.
Okay. I'll go with Seabass's team, which apparently is FLF. I'm gonna change that. What's a good one? TET, TXT.
Sure.
Okay. And we'll say this is really tough. I'm gonna go 1-0.
Okay.
All right. Next match here, we got Nuke Bomb versus Ninja.
Nuke Bomb versus Ninja. So Ninja still has not picked any Terras.
Who needs them?
Ninja.
0-3 negative. Well, you know, did anyone tell him that like Terras are allowed, or?
It's just he's putting on a it's a handicap to prevent his ultimate power from getting out.
Are we sure like someone just forgot to put it in?
I'm pretty sure he knows.
Okay, all right.
Given the fact that he's probably been killed by Terra's 3 matches so far.
Well, that's fair. Okay.
But in this instance, no, I think just the overall matchup is going to be really hard for Ninja to get over.
Yeah.
He has taken some Mons in previous games. The last game was a 6-0. I'm going to say a 5-0 victory to Nuke Bomb. Just given, Ninja might take a Mon with like some Mousehold shenanigans, who knows, but just Terra Moltres and Quagsire to tank anything that would hit Moltres and Cyclozar cleaning up. It's just gonna be too oppressive without having a good foundation for a team.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point, but there are a few things that Ninja could do, like a Swords Dance Overquill could break a few holes into this team. Yes, Quagsire does exist, so it's going to be tough to get through. It would have to be Toxics or something beforehand. There is Scovillain, so Scovillain can use Fire moves pretty well. The Moltres exists. So, yeah, I mean, it is tough. It's going to be tough. That being said, yeah, I'm going to go with Nuke Bomb as well here. And a clean... You know what?
I said 5.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happened last time. So.
And I'm a lock.
Come on now.
What do you mean? Look. Until he gets the Terra, I'm gonna lock. Okay.
All right, you cheater.
What? All right. Let's go on to the next one here. We got Harris versus Jamesy.
All right, Gardevoir versus Hatterene. This is always a fun matchup to see because they both fulfill very similar roles, but they do it in very different ways. Gardevoir, of course, is much faster, while Hatterene has a lot more bulk. So it's interesting to see how they kind of play around. Now, just looking at it, of course, Harris's team is a lot bulkier in general than Jamesy's, but Jamesy has a lot more offense going for him. That being said, if I were to just see really quick, I feel like Harry's has the upper hand here, I want to say.
Okay.
I think the roster just plays around Jamesy's team pretty well. I could actually see Persian doing quite well here. Just being a really good utility to help pivot and get into position correctly.
Okay.
But Zangoose might make some plays happen. Who knows?
Okay. I'm kind of the opposite. I actually like Jamesy's team a little better here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Gardevoir puts in more work than Hatterene, simply because it's the battle of the fairy psychics versus the battle of the mucks, and Alola is better than regular muck. Therefore, I must go Jamesy.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think mucks are that important to make
Whoa. I think so.
I mean, just looking at it overall, they're both actually pretty weak to psychic, or I mean to fairy spam just in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funny thing is Alolan Muck does not resist fairy, so that is a point towards normal Muck.
That's true. Shit.
So normal Muck might actually wall. Well, I mean,
Well,
psychic, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. It really does. I feel like it's going to depend entirely on which side gets their psychic fairy in a good position.
Yeah, I agree.
Then again, Inteleon put in some really devastating work here. They have very little answers to Inteleon.
It's a whole Vaporeon.
There is a whole Vaporeon, and that's about it.
That's all you need.
True. I mean, you know, I agree there. But just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Well,
all that being said,
yeah.
I gotta give it to Gardevoir, right? I gotta give it to Gardevoir. Jamesy.
You were just hyping up.
I know. Jamesy 5-0.
What? I'm so confused. Okay. I even wrote that on my sheet before you said anything that you were gonna go. Okay. Well.
You can never expect my plans.
Yeah, I guess. All right. I was gonna go Jamesy as well, so I'll still do that. I'm gonna go. I was gonna go 4-0, so I'll go 4-0.
Okay. See, I like saw the two, and then I saw that Gardevoir just kind of steps all over.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you didn't see that, to be honest.
It's kind of insane.
I was
only
really
a fairy spam is a mon weak to psychic.
No, well, to be fair, Rapska or Primeape could go Steel. So
true.
Like Steel, Primeape.
Primeape still has knockoff or no? It doesn't have.
I don't think it ever had knockoff.
Oh, you're right. That's why I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but like Rage Punch isn't bad here.
Exactly. Yeah. Like what switches into Rage Fist and Drain Punch when it's Steel?
Very little.
But you know, I mean, if you want to stay, it's fine.
We're solid with this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So going on to the next one here, we have. Oh.
Sorry.
That's fine. You have Shaman Master versus Davey.
Okay. If there's anything to answer Noivern, I think it's Cloyster. Gotta say. The fact that I can Terra, though, does make it a lot harder for Cloyster to actually break this thing.
Yeah. There's also a Berserker here.
There is a Berserker, and Berserker's actually a lot stronger than people might give it credit for. Yep. That being said, I don't know. This is actually pretty tough. I feel like Davey actually might have the upper hand here. Dragology's just so scary. I feel like Dragology can do a lot here, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of switch-ins to a Steel Dragology, because then you just click Draco, and then if Diancie comes in, you just click the Hair Blast.
And then you have screen support from Klefki to make it even stronger. You've got priority with Lycanroc. You just such a scary team if they can get that hold.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Noivern is enough to break through it. Dancy might get lucky with some Diamond Storms, and that might help out, but that's physical, and Dragaldi is usually special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Davey here. I think it's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be so close, I'm going to say 1-0.
Okay. Yeah, the one thing I always forget about is that Tauros's Raging Bull breaks screens.
Oh, that's right. That is actually a very nice counter.
Yeah.
Which does mean Tauros almost is a mandatory inclusion because you're going up against a Klefki. If there's any time to bring it, it would be now, which means that Davey can plan around it, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's extremely good. It means you don't have to have like a defogger. You could just run that. There are a lot of hazards on Davy's side though. So I mean Donphan Rapidspin's fine, but
Wait, does Skuntank still have defog?
nope.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. But it does have toxic spikes, so that's cool. But anyways, so I think personally that there are a few things that could be scary here. And I think the biggest one I think that we didn't even mention is Typhlosion Eruption just goes in here.
Oh, you're right. There's like very little fire resist, huh?
Yeah, and if Dragalge isn't a dragon anymore like at Terra's, there's like Lycanroc, and that's it. So, because there's a few things here that Sheeman can bring, I'm going to go with Sydney Steelix, and I'm going to go with...
I guess the one thing is Lycanroc can threaten with a priority rock move to stop it from just going in too much. But like as a revenge killer.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think, yeah, but there are like Donphan could just easily come out against it, and then you could just switch back to Typhlosion because Lycanroc's not staying in against Donphan.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 Sydney Steelix.
Okay.
All right, moving on to Steel. We got Tofluck versus Sir Swordfish.
Okay, Tofluck versus Sir Swordfish. This is going to be an interesting match, in my opinion. I feel like Samurai Hisui is a pretty good mon here. Just looking at the matchup difference.
Oh, give me 1 second. There were a lot of... Yeah, this is my bad. I didn't...
Oh, did they change?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't update a lot of the transactions. So, let me just see. Sir Swordfish, changed Terra Captain from Typhlosion to Ursaring. Seabass Terra Captain from Quacks to Gallade now, so that would have been good to know.
Oh, okay.
Nuke Bomb changed a bunch of stuff up, but I don't think it really changed too much. Like about the let's see. And then okay, the other people we haven't gone over yet. So yeah, we can go over those changes.
Okay. The Ursaring Terra is interesting. How much coverage does Ursaring have?
Ursaring has a decent amount of coverage. The main thing though is if you Terra normal with Guts Facade, that thing hits like a truck.
Oh yeah, jeez.
And
what's its base attack?
Its base attack. That's a good question.
Ursaring's attack is 130.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, it needs to. It's slow as hell. So it needs to survive a hit.
Mhm.
But still, if you can get that thing into position, oof. The problem. What would you think about it, like a Terra Ghost Charizard to answer?
I don't. I don't know if I like that.
No.
No, probably not. I would probably say Lycanroc over that because what you could do is you could Swords Dance while going Terra Ghost, then it facades, and then you can knock it out with close combat.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a little better.
Yeah,
but I do want to say Ursaring could also be a Violet. It doesn't have to be that set.
that's right. It can use in the Violet now.
Yeah.
That's
so
pretty good.
It's a great switch into status moves now. But that being said, how are they doing? Let's see. Samurai looks like it actually doesn't do too much this game, which is very surprising.
You don't think so?
I see a Gastrodon. I see an Overquill that could eat Ceaseless Edges. I see Simeon that could eat Ceaseless Edges.
Thing is, it's true, but I feel like the main problem is it's sort of a 50-50. Like, you want to switch in the Gastrodon to the water moves, then you want to switch in the Overquill to the dark moves, and you don't really want them to be hit by the other too much. I feel like every time Samurai comes in, it's a 50-50 of a lot of damage.
I think Gastrodon's fine as max defense, max HP, and I think it could take Ceaseless Edges, especially because there's Recover. It's good against Lycanroc. It's good against Donphan. I think it has to be completely defensive here.
Yeah, and Tough doesn't have a good grass type.
Yeah.
Too. I just realized Tough has Spidops and Lotex.
He wants webs.
I guess so. Does he have any grass coverage?
Charizard, Solar Beam.
Grass Charizard.
Does Samurai have Leaf Blade?
Good question.
Because if it does,
it'd be really strong. It probably doesn't though.
It probably. I feel like it does.
Hold on. I can check the sharpness. Leaf Blade. Nope, only Gallade has Leaf Blade.
Okay.
Sharpness.
I know Donphan can learn Seed Bomb.
It has Fury Cutter. It has X Scissor. Air Slash. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Sacred Sword.
Okay. Alright, so I do think Swordfish has a good matchup here against Toph, which is surprising because I believe Toph's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, from what I remember of the results, Toph has 2 wins and Swordfish has 2 wins, so it's pretty even.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's pretty even. And if Swordfish...
Yeah, if you're gonna go with Swordfish, I'll go with Toph. I think that sounds about right.
I'm legit 50-50 here. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just getting... You know what? I'm flipping a coin. You know what?
Alright.
Heads is Swordfish. Ready? Well, it was heads, so...
Okay.
Alright.
So, how much on Swordfish?
Well, I don't have a 6-headed coin, so I will do... What do I do? I'll do 3-0.
I will go with 3-0 with Tough.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll lock on it.
No way. Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cool. The next game, we have Board versus Jackson H.
Alright. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Because from what I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, Board is undefeated so far.
Okay.
Jackson's lost 2. 1-1. Yeah, Board's doing really well. I think he is currently the highest rated in Aron at the moment.
Makes
I don't
sense.
think anyone else is undefeated. Oh wait, Davy's also undefeated. But I think he might have a slightly better differential.
Okay.
Right, let me see. Davy is currently at an 8 differential. Board is currently at a way higher. It's 6, 7, 13 differential.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Board knows his team really well. He's doing great with his lineup, and he overall he's able to get a really good advantage. That being said, Jackson's not doing too bad. Mabostif actually in week 2, I think it was, put up a really good show and got 4 kills. That thing is pretty scary. Especially given the lineup. What? Is there anything that can tank Dark besides Ma?
Tauros?
No. Tauros, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a fighting, isn't it?
I think Tauros is 100% going to be defensive for the Cloister. The Cloister can't break Tauros without Terra.
True. That's true.
So, also, just to keep in mind, Jackson H. Speaking about what I just said, he switched Sandy Shocks for Cloister Terra. So,
Oh, well, there we go. That makes things much easier.
yeah. So, I mean, you could try to do what I did to DDA and Terra Ghost, but you know, you could try that. Honestly, I think it could very.
Against
I think
Tauros, that's actually a really good option because he's gonna use a water move on a Cloister? Just silly.
he could, but then it's like you're also physical. So what are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't even do anything. So unless it's like a bulk up Tauros or something like that.
Yeah.
Which could be. That's actually pretty solid.
Yeah, I could see that actually coming too.
That being said, I think I'd be hard pressed to not vote on Board this time. I think I learned my lesson. So I'm going to say, I want to say 4-0 victory for Board. Unless
Okay.
Jackson pulls out the spice that Board does not see coming.
You've got to
Be
pull
like-
out the spice.
Yeah, you gotta pull it. You can't play safe with this matchup.
Yeah. What you know? What the team Jackson's team was very similar to like mine, where like Cloister and Masquerade Terra captains. You got the Klefki. It's pretty good. Yeah. This is honestly very similar to my DDA matchup because he also had Tinkaton, Rotom Frost, he had Tauros, so it's very similar.
Right.
So again, if you play it the way I played it, you may want to spice it up a bit because Board I believe watches all these, so you might want to spice it up. But that being said, yeah, Board hasn't lost yet. We can't vote against Board.
It's pretty rough. Yeah.
It's rough. I'll go with a. You went 4, so I'll go. You know what? I'll go 2. Okay. And the next one is going to be Mellow Remedy versus Egrill.
Okay, Mellow versus Egrill.
Okay, so first thing, Egrill did make a few changes. Azu and Earthworm were swapped for Inteleon and Driftblim.
Yes. So I'll be honest, I did chat with Egrill and helped him out with some changes. And I think his team is pretty solid right now. Very good defensive lineup in terms of attributes or types or whatever. And I think I didn't really see Earthworm being particularly effective, especially with Steel Wochian basically doing everything it wanted to do but better. And I think the switch to Inteleon as an offensive mon is really good here because previously their water was Azumarill, which does basically nothing. So having a really strong offensive water type definitely solidifies that composition a lot better.
Okay, and I'm just gonna do this real quick, just so we can.
There we go, nice.
Okay. Oh, that's a little.
Does have 2 ghost types now, but I think that's fine. I see them kind of being 2 different options for different scenarios. Probably not going to bring both for any specific game. And Driftblim, it has a lot of versatility, a lot of different options. It's got Strength Sap, which is one of the stronger recovery moves in this gen, and it's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, overall, I like how this team is looking. That being said, I did pretty sure I locked on Eager last time, and he got 6-0'd.
But it's a different team now. It's a different team.
It's a different team, completely different, and he was against Board, so I mean.
Ah, well,
yeah. So, how about you talk about Mello, because I'm biased now.
Okay, so I actually don't know. I don't know if I like Eagles changes. Okay, I'm just gonna say that first. But let me see. So Hatterene kind of gets walled by the Mellow. I think like a lot of people forget Mellow has Mellowetta. Sorry, Mellowetta has a lot of SPDEF and a lot of HP. So even without AV, this thing is gonna eat.
Yeah, she's very similar to the Gardevoir in that way, where she's surprisingly tanky.
Yeah, well, even more tanky, which is insane.
Yeah.
And it has the coverage. It's got Shadow Ball, Serene Grace, so we can get that SPDEF drop on Calm Mind Hat. So Hat, I don't know actually if Hat does anything here. Dreadnought is very scary because if you don't know, Dreadnought has Shell Smash now. So Shell Smash Dreadnought, does it go in here? I could see it doing something. You'd have to make sure you outspeed stuff like Jolteon and stuff, but honestly, I don't know if I like Mellow's matchup as much as Eagles now I'm looking at it.
I don't know. I just don't see how you get past the Steel Wo-Chien, personally.
Oh, let's see. Steel Wo-Chien. All you gotta do is you gotta just go Chestnut, because it beats it without Terra, and it beats it with Terra.
Chestnut, yeah. Yeah, but if Chestnut Terras, it can get leech seeded.
You just don't Terra. Also, why is Dragonair the Terra and not Dreadnought your Shell Smasher?
Because it's Dragonair. I mean, listen. You don't believe in Dragonair.
What, has it done anything yet? I haven't noticed.
It has not come to a game.
Okay, so,
And Mello is currently at 3 losses. But you still believe in Dragonair.
I'm sorry, but I don't.
4-0 Eagle.
Yeah, I figured. Okay. Okay, I am gonna go Eagle as well, and I'm gonna go with a 5-0. However, I do think that there's a chance. I do like Salazzle in this matchup. Inteleon exists, so...
What about Eagle's changes do you not like?
Well, I don't like how there's no fairy type.
That's fair, completely fair. However, it's not like Azumarill was legitimately coming to most scenarios anyway, and the next best fairy type is Carbink. So Eagle doesn't really have many options to begin with.
Azu isn't the worst, especially because it's a tanky water type, and it's also a good fairy type, and it has a lot of, it has Sap Sipper, it has thick fat, so it can really take those fire and ice hits for days.
I mean, it has thick fat, but its stats are also awful.
Nah, the HP is good.
Huh?
Hold on. Does it still have a few moves? Let me just check real quick.
It's not a terrible mon, but it's really important to have a solid water type in this gen, I feel. And using doubling up on that by having Azumarill and Inteleon is not a great option. And as debilitating as it is to not have a fairy, I think it's better to have a solid water core than it is to have a mediocre fairy.
Okay. What about no steel? At least no initial steel.
I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. Wo-Chien doesn't even need to be a Terra to threaten the fact that it could be a steel, which is even better. I don't see Earthworm doing. I see Earthworm as basically just being redundant. And the fact that Eagle did not have a flying type, which was pretty scary, given again Wo-Chien being one of your most important mons, and just having that advantage with Drift Blim is pretty good. Plus, Drift Blim can Will-O-Wisp, it can Thunder Wave, it can do a lot of really nice utility.
Okay, fair. All right. Well, let's get on to the next match. We have
Final match.
Yeah, the final match. You're right. Shinrai versus Lucky.
Okay, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Shinrai's doing really well. Their only loss was at a -1. I think Lucky has lost 2 games, but got a pretty solid victory on the last one. Yeah, so this is rough because as funny as it looks, with they both have kind of low point mons mixed in, I feel like they're actually pretty effective in certain scenarios. Like, is it weird to say I can actually see Gimmighoul coming and Glimmet coming in some situations?
No. I think if you really want to set up with hazards and then try to win after that, I don't see it as bad thing.
The one problem that Glimmet has is that Slowbro is almost always coming to this situation, so you have a really strong poison type to just eat those toxic spikes. So for that situation, I don't think Glimmet is a right call. But I think you have the power. I mean, Shinrai's team just has a lot of power behind it. So I feel like Lucky's walls in Florges and Slowbro and Bronzong don't have enough behind. Like, Bronzong's really passive. Florges is okay, but I think it's still more passive than it is offensive as a wall. Slowbro, I think, is the only bulky mon that actually like can threaten pretty well. And I feel like that's not enough against Shinrai, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah. There are a lot of passive. Let's see. Can Zoroark do anything in this game? I mean, there's no normal, so it could spam Shadow Ball. Quillfish exists, sure, but Zoroark just has to eat like knockoff, and then it could spam Shadow Ball.
Problem is, Shinrai's team has a lot of priority, and especially Shadow Sneak and even Aqua Jet. Zoroark's so frail that I feel like it trades at most and otherwise doesn't do anything.
I don't know. I kind of like the Zoroark disguised as a Rotom Mow, because then, like, let's say Delphox or Toedscruel comes in, then you could either Flamethrower or Shadow Ball both, and, like, it's pretty decent. Because, like if you Nasty Plot as Zoroark as Rotom Mow, it just looks like Rotom Mow is Nasty Plotting. So you try to switch in to take a hit from it, and then it freaking Flamethrowers your Toedscruel, and you're like, what the hell did just happen?
Shinrai does have a lot of pivot, so you'll have to play around the health pools pretty significantly. You can't really let Rotom get chip or else they'll know.
Just heavy duty boots.
Yeah, but just like U-turn chip and stuff like that. And not being able to use Rotom until you're ready to use Zoroark is a little crippling. That being said, this is gonna be a tough one. I feel like this is entirely dependent on the strategy that both employ and which one comes out. It honestly might come down to a miss here or there or a para.
Oh no.
Because this match is going to be pretty rough. And all that being said, I think I'm going to give it to Shinrai as a 2-0 victory.
Okay. Just be opposite here. I'm gonna go lucky, and I'm gonna go with a. I'll go 3-0.
Ooh.
Okay, and yeah, that is it for Aron Pickems for week number 4. How did you feel about the games this week?
I thought they were great. I thought the actual matchups were pretty interesting, and they were a lot more explosive than I thought. There were a lot of 4-0s, 5-0s. There was even a 6-0, I believe. So if this kind of keeps up, we can see some pretty nasty differential scores next week. Who knows? Board might be just have a crazy score if he actually gets another really nice differential.
Yeah, you know what? Board is showing up this season. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's like subbing in with a professional like Pokemon player or something, but
even Davy's having a great run. Undefeated so far. They've been pretty close games, and then he got a free win on Ninja. But even still, I mean, flawless victory, or not flawless victory, but 3 wins is 3 wins.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be very interesting to see how week 4 goes. But that being said, hope you all have good luck in your games. Try not to get paralyzed. You know, don't go for stone edges when you don't need to.
Yeah.
Hurricane is a bad move, and I will stand by that statement. And yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next time. Peace.